Action! Marty and Gus.
Rolling.
Gus and Marty Show.
Action. That's a take. Here we go. So this is our first YouTube show of the Marty and Gus Show. And one of us is Marty and the other one of us is...
And yeah, the other one's Gus and the other one's Marty. So thanks again for coming here.
And pretty much we're just going to talk about all sorts of things.
And yeah, and mostly today it'll be about dating. And I think all of you out there, male, female, etc., have this. I guess now it's all online dating. And
how did that happen? Online dating. I thought that would never ever take off.
I just think that people went underground, like in the Time Machine, and they became moles. What were they? Goyen, something else.
Goyen. Yeah,
they became strangers to the world, and then somehow some genius invented. Made a lot of money out of it. Invented online dating, and so
yeah, but pretty much now you can meet anyone at any time. So you used to you live in a suburb, in a region of an area, and you date with whoever you sort of was in your area. Like
well, yeah, you'd go out like I did the other week, and you'd go out and you'd meet people. But I think people don't go out as much. I think they're retreating, they're hiding away, they're finding the online mechanism might work for them, but it doesn't work. For an ugly guy like me, I seem to not get any luck because, as I told you, one of the ladies that I'd met online, and just it was lucky that.
But she kept telling me you look like Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, close. Yeah. Pierce Brosnan and somebody else like that.
That's his name, isn't it? Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, yeah, or James Bond. But yeah, it was pretty much that we hooked up online and said, "Oh, I only work around the corner." Found that out, and then she told me how she was working in the online pretty well. She had lots of guys hitting on her, and she had to turn off the dating app on weekends because there's too many people. And I said, "Gee, that's really fascinating because it doesn't seem to be the other way around, unless that's my own experience. Maybe I don't have the right profile and my advertising right, but you know, these women aren't not flocking to me." But I think what the last time we're talking about is that are they the people they really represent themselves to be? This is what you were saying, you know.
Yes. So well, I reckon pictures. First of all, online dating is here to stay. Has to be. It's a given.
Yeah, it's not going away. I don't know if it's getting any better, and there seems to be more players. There's
operative word being
there's obviously
played.
Tinder, you know, to put a plug in. Bumble, which is effectively the breakup of Tinder. That was his girlfriend that created Bumble, and they're all swipe right, swipe left. So I think there's an opportunity in that market, and there's plenty of fish. There's a whole lot of other ones that are emanating out there. Plenty of fish, and that's
plenty of fish out there.
That's a US based or Canadian one. That guy certainly made a lot of money. But the reality is for me is that when I look at a picture and decide whether I'm going to swipe right or left, a lot of times if you don't look behind, if they've got any more photos, then they could be alluding to be somebody else, and they're not always the same people. Because when I have had the instance when I've met up with some of these people and said, "Oh, they look okay and they communicate okay," and I've gone to see them, and somehow they don't look anything like their photo. They look different. They misrepresent themselves.
Oh, that's the big issue. Misrepresentation. That's the huge big issue for online dating and these apps.
And of course, yeah, and most of the time they've only got as they term it in the art world, a bust shot. In other words, above that point, up and above your head is a bust shot. So
you
only see that, and you don't know whether they're like proportionate. You don't know what they look like. You got no idea
what you're getting. That's it, pretty much.
And you know what could be that their voice just puts you off. Because I remember years ago that I met a lady out at a club, and when I spoke to this before dating apps and online, I spoke to her on the phone, and she sounded like a little old lady. Now she wasn't a young lady, but she sounded like a little old lady. So she sounded she sounded like she was 75, 80 at the time of the phone. Like, I don't know if I can tolerate this. I didn't want to have anything to do with her.
Yeah, but you're talking about second base. I'm talking about first base is just to see the image. Don't clutter. This is from a guy's regards to this. Don't have photos of your dog, being the main focus of that photo. Don't have your animal being the main focus. don't have your whole family in it. Just show who you are as a photo, as a nice photo that, you know, you can be proud of. No, forget about the kids, forget about the
Marty,
dogs, the
I
animals.
particularly dislike the ones where, well, I like them, but then on the other hand, I dislike them, and the ones where they've got multiple pictures of women on the front page. I'm going, so which one, or do I
Which one is it?
Or am I a sheik, an Arab sheik who can select from the bundle? So a lot of times I've seen 3 and 4 on the front, and you go,
and which one is it?
So which one, and then you go to the next one, you go, I'm not sure now, they've narrowed it down.
Or you've got the Halloween costume that you can't see who it really is, or you've got some Batgirl costume or some Catwoman costume or whatever, and you can't really see who it is. So just present yourself as who you are. Forget the animals. Even though I love animals, I have no issue with animals. I get on well with animals. That's another
story in itself. But yeah, look, so, it's all an interesting area, and it's all, I don't know, I guess it's a bit, I find it a bit fake, because there's been a lot of occasions when I've done that. And I know you haven't used the online mechanism that much, but I've dated on a few, and
but I'm not averse to it.
No, look,
but just, as long as I can see who this person is,
I mean, some people look better in photos than others, and sometimes they mix particularly older photos, and they could be 10-year-old photos, so they're not really real in that perspective.
You know what I think it is with these dating apps is you have to under-promise and over-deliver.
Well, yeah. Look, how do you do that? Oh, that's what I'm.
Don't I say it again?
How do you?
Should I say it again?
Can you say it again? Can you say that?
You have to under-promise and over-deliver. In other words, you don't make yourself look like, who's a famous actress or some beautiful woman that, you know?
I
don't know.
Nigella Lawson. I like her.
I can't even think of one right now.
She's a chef.
Nigella Lawson, right? And well, is that probably the best thing?
Oh, I think she's got a good representation of the Rubenesque lady.
She is Rubenesque. And the thing is, well, you just watch her. You don't watch the food.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. There's her trifle and the trifle she makes, but yeah. I guess, yeah, over deliver, under promise. It's a difficult one that's going to work. However,
well, you need to under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, didn't I just say that? No, okay. Under promise, over deliver. I totally agree. Yeah. So that's the online world, and it's a perplexing place to go as well in terms of just while we've got photos and talking about those things, but just getting online and using those apps, they always ask you if they can get access to your photos and all sorts of things. So I'm not sure, they probably know where I am.
What do you mean?
Well, you have to, when you sign up for one of those Bumble or Tinder, it says allow.
Yeah, you're making a lot of noise with it.
Yeah, okay. Well, allow. Well, I'm allowed to, it's making my point. But you have to allow access, and so those apps get more and more you. However, I guess we're not here today to talk about the apps per se. It's really about the people that are on them and how they portray themselves, what they do.
Look, my grievance is with these apps. I have limited experience with these apps, but just forget the extraneous material like the pet.
But I think that's not.
Which I'm saying that again. I'm repeating myself, but it's so annoying.
Look, I think for me, it's probably the multiple people when they've got the picture of their mother and their grandmother in the photo. I'm not sure if they're trying to reflect what they're going to look like in a few years' time.
There's many photos,
but I find if they've got their motorbike or cat or dog in there, I can talk about that because that's not as invasive. Because how do you start a conversation? It's not like when you decide that you want to contact somebody, you saying hi doesn't work because most of the women that I've responded to says, don't just say hi, tell me something or tell me about our next date. And so that's even more intrusive than if I'm out somewhere when you meet somebody, because when you see somebody from head to toe, you can say something, whether you've got an initial attraction, and then you can have the conversation. Whereas if it's online, you've got a limited amount of information. You see a picture, and while some of them have so much information, you go, I don't know if I really want to. You already have removed them from your list because they've got too much information. It's got to be a bit of mystique about it. So it's, the dogs, the cats are all perhaps a talking point, and that's, I guess, sometimes those dogs or cats and motorbikes are the love of their lives. That's what they you've really fallen for.
To surmise, I think it's less is more in these dating apps. Under promise, over deliver, and less is more, as far as I'm concerned. Cut the crap.
So, okay, if you're going to do an online profile, I think you should do, perhaps even get some professional photos. Some of the selfie photos, I think, are really crazy.
I reckon
some of the selfie photos, I think, crazy. Like people are.
But that means that then you're getting professional photos. They're doctored, you know. They're
only doctored if, well, I guess, you know, they want to look their best. But sometimes I've seen it's just like Seinfeld when, you know, he saw the woman in the light and in the dark, and when he saw her in the dark in the car, she looked like a horror. She had the light up, and he thought she was, you know, some sort of ghosting creature. So
yeah, but just take a normal photo.
Yeah, get somebody else to take the photo for you. Don't do it yourself with your hand extended, because that looks really silly. It just looks crazy. Even get yourself one of those wonderful devices that, here you go, look, I'll do a plug for one of those extendable devices which allows you to take selfies. Even that is better than just an arm's length one, which people looking down. So yeah, look, first of all, get some good photos. Have more than one photo. Some people have one which is basically just from the chest up, which doesn't really tell you much. With my own one, I have from chest up, and then I have a full photo shot.
I reckon you're actually better
probably a couple of, maybe three or four in there.
Just the chest shot for you.
Chest shot for me.
Forget the full.
Exposed.
Forget the whole
exposed. And I think
I don't think you need that.
And I think for the guy, I think women do like.
No, I'm talking about you.
Yeah, me. Well, they do like you to have.
I'm just joking.
Have a shirt and look more like a professional for some reason, because it's something they get enamored with. It's like you know, realtors and real estate and solicitors. They all have this look. So if you can look professional, or a bus conductor or a train conductor, you look like you're presentable. So that's the first part of it. So 1, 2, 3 shots of those variations. Try and get a full length shot, and if you can, get somebody else to take that. Don't overcomplicate your profile. There's so much information. You go, I don't even think I'm going to worth that person. And I guess I find even there's, you know, obviously you have your height and stuff like that. Some women then tend to state that they're 5'0" and they want a tall man. Well, does that mean 5'2", or does that mean 6'8"? But they want a tall man, and then they say, well, they're not superficial. I don't know. That to me is superficial.
Yeah, it's got to be coherent.
But a short, succinct, put it in dot points. People can read it and put it out there and fish as well as you can. That's about all I'm going to say on the subject.
Yeah, well, in terms of advice, I can't give advice because I'm not really au fait with these apps. But all I know is what I said before, which is just don't go overboard. Don't pretend you're something other than who you are. And that's what I say.
Okay, well, look, I think that's probably enough for that one. I think we'll cover a lot of other stuff in the next couple of episodes that we have. And it's the Marty and Gus Show signing off.
Signing off, our first episode. See you next time.